All right, you're good.
Someone's coming in. No, he's coming in.
Hey everybody, my name's Yancey. Today I'm talking about what happens to your hardwood chainsaws and overall style. Alright, I'm going to talk about the objectives. Number one, I'm going to talk to you about the transportation and the handling of logs. Basically, I'm going to talk to you like what truck drivers have to go through, what they have to deal with. I'm going to explain to you what happens to the logs once they reach the mill. There's a whole little process that happens there. I'm going to talk to you about how the logs are scaled. That's where where the loggers make their money. It's important. Then I'm going to talk about how they're sorted. If you don't sort them the right way, then you mess up a whole lot of stuff. And I have sorted logs the wrong way before, and I got yelled at for it. And I'm talking about how they become marketable products. Next, okay. So behind all of this, the reason for all this whole presentation is because I interned at Blue Ridge Lumber. I interned there this past summer. It was established in 1981 in Fishersville, Virginia. That's about 2 hours north in Augusta County. It's a hardwood mill and log procurement. Log procurement is going out in the woods, putting a value on timber and buying and selling it. Like I said, when I did the intern, I was doing a log prep for sales and sorting and moving logs. Transportation. The weight limit for log trucks just got bumped up to 90,000 pounds. That's a whole lot. They overload all the time. They just try and get away with it. Like I said, that says Johnny Law in his tickets. Cops are always looking for loggers that are overloading. And if you like in this picture, that's an okay load. But as soon as you start getting up to these top whoa.
How you go left arrow?
Yeah,
Left
press
arrow.
the arrows.
The left arrow.
Okay. As soon as you get close to the top, close to the top of those standards right there, these are called standards, then they're going to pull you over just because of that. And cops have portable scales. They just set them out on the ground. The truck driver drives over top of them, and usually you're going to get about $1,500, $2,000 ticket, and it's not. Loggers can't afford that. Truck drivers try to get 2 loads per day for the sawmill I work for at least. And then the procedure for loading and unloading is truck drivers pull in, they get out, you have to step away from the truck, you cannot re-enter the truck until everything's done. Guy on the loader will come over, he'll pick up the logs and lay them down, and that's it for unloading. If you're loading, you pull in, like you stay in the truck then, and then they just load you up. But it's actually pretty serious when it comes to loading and unloading, just for safety reasons. Scaling, this is where the loggers make all that cash money, which they don't really get paid anything. So logs are laid out in a row, and they're labeled with the logger's name and a logger ID number. Use a scaling stick. This is the scaling stick right here. That measures the diameter of the log. You use that and a handheld computer to record everything. They're individually labeled by the species, and it's a lot easier to label stuff at a mill than it is, if you're in any forestry class, just because everything is general labels, not very, very specific. Everything's measured and priced by 1,000 board feet. So basically you measure the length of the log and the diameter, and you grade it. So that tells you what it's worth. And then after you finish the whole row of that load, then the computer will tell you how many 1,000 board feet are in that load, and that's what you pay the logger. Sorting logs. This is when you get to play with all the big stuff, and it's pretty fun. Loaders and knuckle booms are running all day. I'm going to show you what both of those look like throughout this presentation. Sorted by species again, and there's more specific ones, like right here, where I'm talking about 8 feet and over 16 feet. Certain kind of log called a yellow poplar. If it's 8 foot, it has its own pile. It doesn't get just put in with the rest of its same species. Over 16 foot, that's everything that's too big to go into the sawmill. It has to be cut by me, so that goes into its own little pile as well. They can be very tall and very long. The piles of them can be very tall and very long, which can cause a lot of potential danger right there. They'll be probably about 50 yards long and 25, 30 feet high of just 2-ton logs, so it's pretty dangerous. Right here I've got a video. I can't even see the. Maybe if I just click on it real quick. And of course it turns sideways. Alright, well that didn't happen when I made this. Anyways, this is me in the knuckle boom. You got the crane right here, and all these levers that were right there. Basically, the knuckle boom, right here, this arm, the boom on it, reaches out, picks up logs. You can turn them any way you want, and you stack these piles up. There's 8 levers in there, but I only had to use 4 of them. It's if you have attachments like a bucking saw, which bucking saw just cuts the log in half, and that's on the side of the trailer. No, I'll do that again. Okay, and this is one of the loaders that I got to run for moving logs, laying them out. This right here is on the actual log yard, laying out logs for me to work on. That was a lot of fun, but they're pretty rickety and whatnot. And when you get on those on a rainy day, you're picking up 4 or 5. That's a light load. You're usually picking up 4 or 5 2-ton logs, and they're just falling off. Like I always had them. They would slip off, stand straight up, and slam into the front of this thing, and that gets kind of messy sometimes, and that's how you get in trouble. I figured that out. Marketable products, sale and resale logs. Okay, so when logs come straight in from the forest, those have to be determined if they're either going to be sold, like to the Chinese who don't know anything about logs, so we just kind of like send them really crappy stuff. They don't even know it. But or you have resale logs, which is logs that we bought that were like, okay, we can get a better value for it, so we're going to resale it. Just we'll just prep it up a little bit better, cut it to a shorter length or whatever. Sale log preparation. That was my job. That was where I had to, if it needed to be cut to a certain length, that's what I did. If it had knots on it, had to knock the knots off, and then you have to wax them, and then you have to put these little sabers in the end of them, because logs like to split. They will literally explode if you don't put these in time. They have little plastic ones that are in the shape of an eye, or they have metal ones that are in the shape of an S. You just put them on the cracks, and you have to have like a mini sledgehammer and hammer them in. And then you have log yard sales. This is where other foresters from other places come to the log yard, and they'll just go through everything. You lay it all out for them, make it nice and pretty, and they go through and pick what they want, what they don't want. Saw logs in the sawmill. Anything that we're not going to sell, we're not going to sell, or send to like a chipper or something like that, we'll put in the sawmill. That's where stuff becomes it'll be cut down into lumber, and the lumber is then graded. And that's where you have planers and molders. That lumber will be, if it's good enough, they'll send it to another plant where they have planers, which planers really just kind of, it cuts it to a certain size where it'll flatten it out if it needs to be smaller or bigger or whatever. And then a molder, these baseboards, well not these because they're not wood, but wooden baseboards that are on the side, like on your walls. We have molders that, make it, shape it however you want and whatnot. And that's what I was just talking about. Those are examples. Hardwood floors, we do those, and baseboards. This is a picture of the log I was working on. This is one of the other guys laying out the logs for me to work on. There's 3 rows of these. You can get about probably 40 big logs on each one. And we'll probably go through all 3 of those probably 3-4 times in a day. So well over 100 logs a day working on them. This was the biggest log I cut all summer. This is the saw I ran. It's a Steel 660. That's a pro saw. I don't know if you don't know anything about chainsaws, but that is a very powerful timber cutting saw. But this is a 24-inch bar, so you can just imagine that's 2 feet. This thing, just this end, is probably close to 5. It was massive. Standing in front of that thing, it was taller than me. And even the guy was like, "Are you sure you want to cut this?" And I was like, "Not really, but I guess I'll try it." And I got it done, but it was pretty scary because there's nothing holding that thing back from rolling. If I just happened to get it right by luck, but that was a lot of fun. My references are just Blue Ridge Lumber. There's a website that you can't even see, but if you have any other questions about sawmills and whatnot, definitely look them up. Great, it's a great sawmill, and there's a lot of information on there. Thank y'all.
Oh crap! Right.